What's the weather on Mount Kilimanjaro? The temperatures on Mount Kilimanjaro range from hot to bitter cold. Climbing Kilimanjaro is unique for many reasons, and one of these is that from the trailhead to the summit, hikers will experience themselves weaving through several distinct climate zones. It's said that the journey from the gate to the peak is like traveling from the equator to Antarctica in a matter of days. Mount Kilimanjaro has 5 major ecological zones, each spanning approximately 3,300 feet or 1,000 meters in altitude. As hikers gain elevation, they'll experience a decrease in rainfall, temperature, and plant life. In this video, I'll discuss what conditions you should expect on Mount Kilimanjaro. Weather in Moshi. Your trip to climb Kilimanjaro will begin in Moshi. Moshi is the gateway town from which our climbs are organized. It's located just south of the base of Kilimanjaro. At 2,700 feet or 900 meters above sea level, the town is located in the lowest and warmest ecological zone. This table shows the average temperature and precipitation in Moshi. January and February are the warmest months. April and May are the wettest months. June and July are the coolest months. And August and September are the driest months. These generalities about the weather in Moshi hold true for Mount Kilimanjaro as well. Weather on Kilimanjaro. Due to its proximity to the equator, Mount Kilimanjaro does not experience wide temperature changes from season to season. Instead, the temperatures on Mount Kilimanjaro are determined more so by the altitude and the time of day. At the beginning of the climb, at the base of the mountain, the average temperature is around 70 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit, or 21 to 27 degrees Celsius. From there, the temperatures will decrease as you move through the ecological zones. At the summit, the nighttime temperatures can range between 20 to negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit, or negative 7 to negative 29 degrees Celsius. Due to Kilimanjaro's height, the mountain creates its own weather. It's extremely variable and impossible to predict. Regardless of when you climb, you should always be prepared for wet days and cold nights. Kilimanjaro's 5 ecological zones. The lowest climate zone is the Bushland or cultivated zone. This zone is located a half mile or more above sea level, with an altitude of 2,600 to 6,000 feet, or 800 to 1,800 meters. Cultivated land, grasslands, and populated human settlements characterize this zone. The town of Moshi is located here. Natural bush, plains, and lowland forests once covered this region. However, because this area is fertile with volcanic soil, it makes an ideal land for agriculture. The Chaga people settled on these lower slopes to farm a variety of crops. The grounds are irrigated by underground channels tunneling through the earth from lush rainforest above. Many of the local mountain guides hail from the nearby villages. Large animals are rarely seen here, having been eliminated by farmers generations ago. However, small nocturnal animals and a variety of birds are still found here. Next, we have the Rainforest Zone. The starting point for nearly all routes are located within this zone. The rainforest is drenched by 6 to 7 feet of rain per year and bursts with biodiversity. During the day, warm temperatures and high humidity characterize this densely forested climate zone. Climbers definitely want to have their rain gear handy to protect themselves from the constant drizzle, but at night, you'd be surprised about how cold it can get. I wear my warm hat and fleece jacket every night on Kilimanjaro, even in the rainforest. It's pretty common to see black and white colobus monkeys and blue monkeys on the trail, and once in a while, lucky climbers might even see an elephant, buffalo, or antelope here. The third zone is known as the moorland or heath. This semi-alpine zone is characterized by shrubs and wildflowers. According to mountain medicine, the Heath Zone is in the high altitude region. So at this elevation, the first symptoms of acute mountain sickness may begin to appear in some climbers. Most routes enter this zone on the second day of hiking, and depending on the route duration, may spend several days at this altitude. This is recommended as it allows climbers to gradually acclimatize to the decreasing oxygen and the higher elevations to come. As we move higher within the Heath Zone, the humidity and dense rainforest surroundings begin to give way to drier air and cooler temperatures. The flora thins into smaller shrubs and the presence of fauna becomes increasingly scarce. The most prominent flora are the unique and iconic senecio and lobelias. The most common birds in the Heath Zone are the white-necked ravens, which you'll see throughout your climb, especially around camp. The fourth zone is the Alpine Desert. As you might expect, the Alpine Desert receives little water, so the vegetation here is very light. The temperature can reach over 100 degrees Fahrenheit during the day. The thin air and proximity to the equator result in very high levels of solar radiation. Applying liberal amounts of sunscreen is an absolute must. During the night, temperatures often plummet to well below freezing, leaving a dusting of morning frost on the tents. This zone is in the very high altitude region of mountain medicine. For ideal acclimatization, climbers should spend considerable time here. Our preferred routes will venture into this zone on a few occasions before sleeping here at high camp on the night before the summit. This arid zone has thin soil that retains very little water, making it inhospitable to most plant and animal species. Everlastings are one of the main plants that can withstand such harsh conditions, as well as tussock grasses and varieties of moss. The fifth and final region is the Arctic Zone. Finding a region like this in Africa's equatorial belt is like finding a rainforest in the middle of the Arctic. Characterized by ice and rock, there's virtually no plant or animal life at this altitude. These slopes were once entirely covered by glaciers. Nights are extremely cold and windy, and the day's unbuffered sun is powerful. Mountain medicine classifies this zone as extreme altitude. Oxygen levels are roughly half of what they are on sea level, making it hard to catch your breath when active. Climbers will enter this zone on the way to the summit. Because this is typically done in the middle of the night, expect to wear several layers of clothing on the top and bottom. You're going to have to endure sub-zero temperatures and strong winds for 6 to 8 hours. With the exception of crater camp routes, we don't sleep in this zone. It's likely that climbers will experience varying degrees of altitude-related symptoms at these elevations. Therefore, we try to avoid spending too much time here. We summit and descend quickly before AMS can escalate. As you can see, on Mount Kilimanjaro, you have to be prepared for a wide range of weather conditions, from hot and humid to cold and windy. You also have to be prepared for the strong sun, rain, and even possibly a blizzard. In general, the higher you climb, the colder it gets and the drier it gets. For most routes, you'll spend very little time in the Arctic Zone and a short amount of time in the Rainforest Zone. The bulk of your days and nights will be in the Heath and Alpine Desert zones. Usually, the conditions here are fairly comfortable. During the day hikes, most people wear just 1 or 2 layers on top, such as a base layer alone or a base layer plus a soft shell jacket. At night, while at camp, people wear their warmer layers, such as their down jacket with fleece pants. More often than not, if you climb during the dry seasons, the weather you'll experience should be pleasant. That means dry and sunny with mild temperatures. So don't be intimidated by the weather. When you have the right gear, you have everything you need to stay warm and dry, even in the worst conditions. For more information, visit ultimatekilimanjaro.com. Please like and subscribe for more videos on climbing Kilimanjaro, and I'll see you on the summit.